Hello everyone and welcome back to Crayon Code. Today let's create some truly awesome ribbons by using the CSS clip path property for exciting shapes, so make sure to like and subscribe to my channel to never miss an update. And this is where I want to end up today, so let's get this started with. Okay, so first ribbon I want to create is quite a simple one. So let's simply put a class with a div with the class of the ribbon, and let's put the content of the ribbon actually in a separate div. And the first one, let's just simply put a clock emoji. We're going to put other stuff later on, but let's for starters just work with a clock. So now we can see it's like directly inlined into the box. And now let's take actually care about position first. So we want to have it positioned absolute. And let's shift it a little bit to the right, because I want to put that badge in the right corner, where we say that, okay, we can parameterize this with a variable, but we also have a default value. So let's make the default value, what would be a good value? Let's make it 10 pixels. So now, exactly, perfect. So it already shifts to the right. And now I want to shift it a little bit upwards, but let's do that later, because now we cannot see what the right dimension would be. And now actually for the content, let's do it this way, that we are giving it a background color, where I simply going to use the CSS variable for color, such that I can parameterize it individually, but also I want to put a default color. And what would be actually a good value? Let's see, something like, I'm picking one of my usual colors, which would be this one. Yeah, perfect. So we have a nice blue background. And now we need to tweak this a little bit such that it looks nice. Let's give it a little bit of a padding, which means that, let's make it 8 pixels on the top, 2 pixels on the left and right, and no padding on the bottom, which I can see is it's actually not enough. Let's put 4 pixels on the bottom, and now I want the ribbon to be a little bit shifted upwards, that it looks that it's lying on the top border, which means that we're going to use the top property, which I'm also going to use a CSS variable, but also with a parameterizable default value. And let's actually say that the default top will be -3 pixels. So I'm going to shift it -3 pixels up, and you can see that it's already shifted a little bit upwards, and it's already looking like a piece of cloth is hanging over the edge. So that actually already looks quite nice. So, and let's actually do the very first beginning, and let's make it a little bit nicer with a little bit of a shade, where we overlay a linear gradient with 45 degrees, and a completely transparent color. It's from transparent on the very beginning of the gradient up until, let's make it a little bit of a brighter color, where we put a 10% of a white at the very end of the gradient. And now I think I messed something up. Here the G is missing. And let's actually put this here, where we say from 0% black. So now let's play around with this a little bit, just to see that the gradient actually, you can see it gets quite bright here in the top. I think 30% of a white would actually look quite good. So we now have it a little bit more nicer. And now this was a very simple one, so let's get a little bit more creative, which means that we will take this on another ribbon, but this time, let's simply do a simple text ribbon. And now it already pays off actually that we used CSS variables, because now through the style attribute I can simply override the color and give it a little bit more of a blackish type. And yeah, I see. Actually, we need to take care of a few things now. Let's make actually the color white for readability, because usually badges have, or these ribbons have a little bit of a stronger color. And yeah, let's tweak this font size a little bit more down to 1.25 rems. And yeah, let's make sure that the text align is always set to center. And yeah, the font weight, let's give it up to 400 to make it look a little bit more bolder. And now I want to experiment a little bit with the shape, which means that it would be nice if it would have been a slanted shape upwards. And for this, we're going to use the clip path. And in order to be able to put different shapes on different kinds of ribbons, let's simply do it that way, that we give this another class, a slant up. And from there on, we're going to have another selector where the ribbon has the slant up class, and we only want to work with the content inside. So let's start using the clip path property of CSS, where we're going to put a polygon inside. And now this has kind of a special syntax, which means that we always are giving two number pairs, and always several pairs of two numbers. And in each number pair, the first is the x coordinate and the second is the y coordinate. And we start in the top left corner and move then to the top right corner. And then we're going to move a little bit down, but not fully down, which means that we are still on the right hand corner. And I want to calculate from 100% at the bottom minus 12 pixels upwards. You can see it already. Yeah, it starts adapting. And then I want to have another pair in the very bottom, left hand bottom. So yeah, and I see it's cutting off the text a little bit. So let's actually take care of the usual dimensions our ribbon should have. So let's introduce another variable for the default width, where we're going to put yeah, let's make it 32 pixels, and the default height, which is going to be a little bit higher because we have the 3 pixels upwards. Yeah, let's make this one 36 pixels. And now let's actually put that on the content, where we say that the width is, yeah, let's make also this overridable via a CSS variable. And yeah, let's actually still use the default width variable. And we have, since we want to be adaptable, which means that we set the min height, but if content takes up more, let's make the ribbon to be able to scale up. So we can also make this variable. So, and now we can already see it perfectly well that the lower bottom of the slant ribbon is below the text line, so no text is cut off anymore. And now, yeah, actually I wanna do something later, which means that I'm simply going to introduce a point between the lower and the upper edge, which will be directly in the middle. And why we're going to need this is that if we want clip path to be transitional, because that's possible if you have in the clip path a polygon that always has the same amount of vectors, it's possible for the browser to morph from one shape to another, and that would actually be really cool if we would our ribbons to be morphable from one to another if the class changes. So that's why I'm introducing another point in here that does not change the shape, but yeah, simply adds up to 5, because that's all our shapes going to be enough, 5 points. So let's keep it that way. And now let's actually also do this with a slant down variant, where we are simply going to put this one down there, and this one will be, yeah, we simply flip at that point. So let's see if this actually works out. So let's take this ribble to another sample and let's make it slant down. Yeah, perfect. So you can see here that we just exchange coordinates for these 2 points in that side. Yeah, and just for the sake of completeness, so let's just put a number and maybe try a different color. So yeah, let's actually make a 8975B4. Yeah, so slightly purple ribbon, which looks also quite nice with the slant edge below. And now it actually would be really, really cool if we could do that is to add a drop shadow. And yeah, just for the reasons of demonstration, if we now put a box shadow, a traditional box shadow, we will actually end up seeing nothing, because that's the point of the clip path, because it also clips off the box shadow. So if we set the box shadow here on one hand, where you say, yeah, let's not shift it off so that we can see it. And yeah, it's actually, let's make a color which is very well visible. So if we set it on the parent element, you can see that it does not take the shape from the clip path. And if we set it on the content where we actually set the clip path, you can see that basically nothing happens. You can see it slightly here, but the shadow is simply clipped off. And that's the reason why we cannot use the standard CSS box shadow property, but we can do something else. We can use the filter property with the drop shadow function, because this one actually works with the final shape of the element. And yeah, it's slightly a little bit different here. So we just take, yeah, let's give it a try with the same values. And I think we need one less, because it does not, it takes the X offset, the Y offset, and it does not take the spread. So, and if you put the drop shadow now in the wrong place, like I just did, you can always see that it's actually always being clipped off by the clip path property. So we need to set the filter property actually here on the parent element, which allows us now to have a nice little drop shadow which adapts to the actual shape of the element. And yeah, let's actually make it a, let's make it a pretty one, because that's a little bit extreme. Yeah, 35% of a black, and a little bit shifted, yeah, to the right, a little bit more to the bottom, and not such an extreme blur, just 2 pixels. Now you can see that there is a slight drop shadow now, nicely running around the final border here. Make it a little bit more, yeah, if you can see red. Here you see that this is the position where the shadow is running along, and can also make it a little bit more thicker. Yeah, that way it looks slightly better. So yeah, now we have also a nice shadow. And now let's have a go at the fourth use case, where I wanna actually use yeah, let's say we use an SVG icon, where we also put a ribbon and a div where we have yeah, some content. So let's put some SVG content in there. So let's, yeah, close the 2 divs I just opened. I think I closed one too much. There is a missing bracket here. Perfect. Okay, now, yeah, and here's the content class missing. Yeah, very nice. So we have again our default ribbon, which is blue, and yeah, due to the color, we also have the icon in white now. But yeah, let's experiment a little bit with the color. So let's give it a different one. Again, from one of my usual colors to E, and that should make it an orange one. Now something's got messed up. Let's try to actually reload. Yeah, now it looks good again. And now I want this ribbon to point down, so to have a slightly arrowy shape. And for that reason, let's give it another class where we say, okay, it's the down class. And again, we simply just adapt the clip path property, where we say we have a down class, and we only want to adjust the clip path on the content. So let's again actually make, let's take the slant down one and just adapt it again. So yeah, perfectly, that looks already fine. So actually I want the middle one, I want to be completely down at 100%. So that looks already better. And now I want that one, which is totally at the bottom, also be shifted up by, let's do it the same way, 12 pixels. And now we have an arrow reshape. And actually, 12 pixels is a little bit extreme. So let's take it down to, I don't know, 8. Yeah, actually 8 looks good. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Yeah, that's it for the one that's pointing down. And of course, let's actually also do one that is pointing up. At this point, it should be quite simple. So we just copy that clip path, and let's actually see. Let's make an example now for the last remaining two. Let's actually make one which denotes success and failure. I think this would be quite nice. So let's have another ribbon, and let's again work with icons here. I think Font Awesome will help us here greatly. So let's pick up another SVG. Yeah, I think I like this one. Perfect. And of course, failure usually means that we use a red color. So let's rework that one here, where we say that the color is, again, one of my usual colors, 750. Yeah, very nice. So looks good. It's red now, and I think the gradient is a little bit extreme actually. So let's rework that one. I think 30% is a little too much. Yeah, 20%, 25 looks better. Yeah, looks good. Let's keep it that way. All right, so now I wanna just invert the shape. And for that one, we still need to use the up class here, which still points down because I copied that one. And actually we just flip the coordinates here, because the left one and the right one are running completely down to 100%. And the middle one will run our usual 8 pixels upwards, and the right one will again run completely down to 100%. Yeah, that's looks good. So now we have one pointing down, one pointing up, and let's actually now for the success one mimic the contour of a check mark. Yeah, let's give this a try. So let's give this a good name. Yeah, let's simply call it check. And of course we are reusing that now. I think it's better to copy the one that's pointing down, because the contour of a check mark is asymmetrically pointing down. So let's use this one. And of course, let's also work with an icon again. Yeah, Font Awesome will have something good as well. So we put another, there's the last one. So we have another ribbon, which is, we directly give it the check class. And we need one for the content itself. And here we're going to put the SVG icon. Yeah, perfect. It's a check mark. So, and of course, let's rework the color, because the check mark usually is displayed in green. So let's rework this one here at that point, where we're just simply using another greenish color. Used the wrong variable here, not content, but it's color. And now, very nice, looks green. And now for the shape of the check mark. Let's see, it's basically the lowest corner is a little bit off. So let's shift this one a little bit to the right, which is that one here. Yeah, let's actually say it's 40%, because if the entire thing scales up, it's no use in using pixel. So yeah, we have it this way. And yeah, the right hand corner needs to be shifted a little bit more upwards. So let's have a go at 12 pixels. Ah, that was the wrong one. Actually, yeah, but this looks anyways good because it seems parallel with the front edge here. And for the other one, it needs to be a little bit more than 12. Let's give it a go with the double. Ah, it's too much. Yeah, actually that looks good. Very nice. So yeah, we actually have mimicked now the contour of the check mark. And yeah, this is really, really cool because with the clip path, you can produce almost any shape you like. And yeah, go creative, because take this code pen and use it as a basis for your projects. It's yeah, it's actually very simple to adapt. One thing I still want to mention is that here for that card, for that container here where the ribbon is placed, it actually needs to have position relative for everything to work. That is quite crucial. And now for actually the really, really fancy stuff now, where we want to morph from one ribbon to another, let's actually give it a go. And now we need to put some JavaScript, which means that whenever a ribbon is clicked, I want to cycle randomly through all type of ribbons we have, which means that we get all the ribbons we have. And yeah, actually loop over them. And for each one, we hook in an event handler. A click event handler, actually, yeah, because I want if every time a ribbon is clicked. So let's add an event listener of type clicked, and we need the actual event object. And yeah, since it could be that the SVG is clicked, any element in the SVG or anything else, the content diff, for instance. So I need to actually make sure that at one point I get to the ribbon itself, which means that as long as the current target is not the ribbon we actually care for, we simply traverse upwards. Yeah, perfect. So, and now we have the following types. So no type at all, which is our default type. We have the slant up, slant down. We have the actual up, the actual down, and we have the check type. And let's choose it randomly, which means that we choose from floor and math.random and multiply it by the number of types we actually have, because the upper bound of random is always exclusive. So you will always get a random number between 0 and 1 with a lot of decimals. So we multiply that number with the number of elements we actually have, and then take the floor, and all in all we ensure that we always end up with an index inside the array. And yeah, actually we simply modify the class name, where we always put the ribbon class itself and the type we actually just chose. And that actually should already be it. So let's give it a try. Yeah, perfect. So now we're able to traverse through all the type of ribbons we have, but it's not animated yet. And for that, we actually need to use the transition property of CSS. And for that, we are going down to the, yeah, we don't need the HTML anymore, to the content, where we say that we have to smoothly transition the clip path property. And it's actually really great that this one is transitionable. Yeah, let's give it 1 second such that we can properly see it. I think we're modifying the padding, and let's also the background color, which would also be nice if this one is actually, yeah, also transformable. And now if you watch closely, you see that it really looks good. That it actually nicely morphs through everything. yeah, since I'm not changing the background color, it's pointless to morph the background color. But that's actually really great. And that jump we actually have is because we have no clip path on the default, where we actually just could use a default clip path, which does not have any calculations at all. So we just make a regular rectangle with 5 edges, corners, where we have this 0, then top, and so on. And if we do it now, we can see that from any state it smoothly transitions. And now if you combine this with the color, actually it creates a really, really smooth effect whenever you change the state of a batch. And that looks, I think, quite cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed creating these nice little ribbons. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next episode.